Radio Universidad Da Vinci is pleased to have Luisa Collin in the studio with us. She is the creator and writer of the English writing workshop you are now working on. She is here today in our studio to give us some great advices and tips on how to become a good writer. Welcome, Luisa.
Thank you, Cesar, for inviting me to your radio program. I'm very excited to be here.
You are very welcome. So, Luisa, tell me, how did you become such a good writer?
Well, Cesar, two things are very important. One is taking lots of time to practice writing. You know, practice makes perfect. The more you write, the better you become. The other is practicing some simple steps in writing a composition, like getting your ideas, focusing on and supporting your main idea, drafting, revising, editing, and finishing the final draft of your composition. All these steps in becoming a good writer are very important.
I see. So, planning and organizing and taking lots of time to follow the steps in writing are the most important things to help you write. How very interesting. And Luisa, how did you organize your ideas? I mean, some students find it hard to get ideas and then they have to put them in order. How do you do this?
First, I have to get my ideas. I think about what I have to do and make sure I understand the assignment or task. You know, what and how I have to write about something. What I mean, Cesar, is if you do not understand the task or question, or even the assignment, how are you ever going to write it? When I know what I have to do, I think about what I know, and sometimes I talk to my friends to get ideas. Then I write all these ideas down, kind of like a list of words and ideas. This is called brainstorming, or sometimes mind mapping. It helps to make a plan or outline of your ideas. Sometimes I read about what I want to write about too, and again I make sure that I write all this information down. Then I identify my main idea, you know, the main topic or subject of my composition, so that I can focus on it and not get too mixed up with all the ideas I have. Brainstorming and making a plan or outline really helps me to organize my composition.
Now that you have all your ideas and have identified your main idea, what do you do next?
Well, I like this part the best. I group or put all the great ideas and details that go together to support the main idea. You know, the main topic of my composition. It is like putting order in the ideas so that they belong together. I do this by putting a circle around all the ideas that go together, draw triangles around others, and squares to group those ideas that are the same. These circles and triangles and squares help me put the ideas that are similar into individual paragraphs. Now that I have my ideas together, I am ready to start writing and drafting my first paragraphs. You know, Cesar, all the work of getting the ideas, writing them down, and putting them into groups that belong together really make writing paragraphs so much easier.
Fascinating. So, a plan or outline is what helps you focus on your main idea or topic. Luisa, do you have any advice about how you review or revise your work before you hand it in?
Well, Cesar, I do. I revise my paragraphs making sure that I have a main idea and good supporting ideas, that my composition makes sense. I then read my composition out loud to make sure that the ideas are also clear to my reader. I often ask a friend or colleague to read my composition and give me his or her honest opinion. I then revise my composition again and make as many changes as I need to. Sometimes this step takes a long time. I mean, I change and I add things, but I know I'm almost finished, and so that encourages me to continue.
What about spelling and grammar, punctuation and capital letters? When and how do you check this?
That is called editing, and I always save editing for grammar and spelling as my last step. Too many people worry about grammar at the beginning of their composition and then get mixed up, confused, and discouraged. Remember, Cesar, the most important thing about your composition is if your ideas are clear to the reader. You can correct all your grammar and spelling at the end, and your friends or even the computer will help you to do this. Remember, Cesar, mistakes are a good thing in the English writing workshop because you can correct them and learn from them so that you do not make those mistakes again.
I never thought of mistakes as good thing, Luisa, but I think you are right. When you make a mistake, you correct them and remember it. Well, Luisa, I'm very glad you could be part of the show. Thank you for your time and tips for becoming a great writer.
You are very welcome, Cesar. I really enjoyed being here. Thank you.
I also want to thank you, the audience, for being with us. Be sure to check the transcript of this show to get all the information that Luisa gave us. Well, that is all the time we have for today.